everybody. Welcome to episode 4 of It's All About Vinyl. My name's Mark Roland.
And my name is Push.
We're the co-founders of Electronic Sound magazine. If you'd like to support the podcast, you can pop to our website, electronicsound.co.uk, and have a look at what we do there. Magazines, back issues, records, T-shirts. CDs, books, probably.
Bits and pieces.
All sorts.
Yep.
And that would be great. Also, as part of this very pro introduction, I should mention our email address, where you can drop us an email. We'd love to hear from you, give us some feedback, ask us some questions, suggest something that you might want us to talk about. And that email address is vinylpod@protonmail.com.
So, drop us a line about stuff.
A line. We've got lots to talk about today. But the first thing, I think, is Record Store Day.
Yeah, which is April?
I think it is, yeah. Which I like to call Record Shop Day. Will you, Push, be getting up very early in the morning and queuing outside a participating record store?
Well, I don't know that I will this year, actually.
No?
No.
You're going to break the habits of a lifetime.
Well, yeah. I did a week the other day. Actually, a couple of days ago, I was in London and I went to Reckless and Sister Ray on Berwick Street, and I was kind of looking for CDs rather than vinyl, and it was interesting to compare the two shops.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
So, but hey, listen, we do this quite often, which is it's all about vinyl, and we hardly ever talk about vinyl. So let's not go there with that.
Stay focused.
Let's stay on Record Store Day.
Okay.
So, what have you seen things that? Well, presumably you will be up early and queuing.
I don't know. Oh. I have done that.
Yeah.
I queued up, and it's sort of quite fun if the weather's not too bad. I find the way the shop I went to operated it, they'd have a couple of bins right next to the guy selling you the records, right in front of him, and you'd have to queue, and then you could riffle through them.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it was a bit weird. So I found that a bit tense.
What, with a queue behind you, sort of?
Yeah.
People kind of like looking at their watches.
Yeah.
And kind of.
I remember one year I went, and I was just after a Fall 7-inch, which I managed to get. Another year I went and managed to get a Devo album that I really wanted. So, yeah, but I don't know if I'm going to be getting up early this time.
So what tickled your fancy this year?
Well,
You've been looking through and seeing
I did
what's
go
there.
through the list today, and I've picked out a few.
Right.
And funnily enough, one of them that I picked out is The Fall.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I saw there was a Fall. What is that?
It's their 2001 album, Are You Are Missing Winner. R-U-R, as in A-R-E. Which
okay.
I've got, so I don't really need it. But right. I thought it was interesting that they're reissuing it. I believe it's on, pink and black swell vinyl. And the issue I bought is a picture disc, which is very sought after. It's one of those ridiculous ones that people seem to be paying sort of 100 and something quid for, because it was quite limited and it went very fast. I just happened to get one, really. But I noticed somebody said, I should also point out that Are You Are Missing Winner is, I think, was received, what's the word, with mixed critical response.
Badly.
By the fans and everybody else.
Oh, really?
Okay. I think maybe a little unfairly, maybe not, but it wasn't the greatest era for Mark E. Smith. He was...
was this like the full Mark 712 or something like that?
Yeah.
714 maybe?
Yeah, the lineup. The lineup that had lasted quite a lot of time had destroyed itself in New York in... Like 1998.
Oh, was that the American band that he had?
No. That was the band that blew up on stage in New York had been with him for quite a long time, and it was quite tragic. It was very bad. I interviewed him shortly after that, And I remember I had to ask him. It was one of those strange Melody Maker. What were they called? It was like the psychologist's couch.
Oh yeah, shrink wrap.
Shrink wrap. That's right. So the questions were sort of pre-written. So you just go and present. He said to me, "What are these? Like mental home questions?" And I was like, "Yeah, kind of a bit." And one of them was. When was the last time you had a fight? Was one of the questions, and he just went, "Well, I'm not allowed to do that," because he'd got in such.
Yesterday,
yeah, he'd been, he had a court order and all sorts.
That American, but they were the guys that had beards, didn't they? Do you remember there was like?
Well, no, the American band. It was a bit weird. They had an American. He had an American band which actually was very lasted right to his death. Actually. Quite a long time. Yeah, that was. When
I say America, I don't mean a band in America. I meant they were American musicians. He had with them. Yeah.
And they were with him for quite a long time. I was watching some of that last night, a session somewhere or other. It was hilarious because it's they're all playing away, kind of grinding away at a full riff, and you just see Marquis Smith sort of appear at the back, and he just sort of walks past the amps, and then he disappears. And they're still playing, and there's where's Smith, and they're like pretending that they're not bothered that he's not there, and then he kind of comes staggering in with his leather jacket, does this sort of thing. Anyway,
I saw them that like with the, I don't know who, I always thought they were the American, what I call the American band, at the last night of the Hammersmith Palais.
Oh yeah,
and that was a fabulous gig. And Marquis Smith played several songs from the dressing room. He was just absent. He was in the dressing room with the microphone, occasionally saying things, and the band were just doing their thing.
Yeah.
And I remember at one point he said to one of the guitarists, he stopped. I think he may have stopped the song midway through, and just said to him, this guy, "Either the beer goes or you go." Just apropos of nothing.
I always think Marquis Smith had that sort of band leader, fearsome band leader vibe that I would associate with James Brown and Miles Davis.
Right. Yeah.
I think Being in the Fall must have been a bit like a kind of being an indie version of being in James Brown's band, where you get fined for, sloppy musicianship or something, which is hilarious, given it's the Fall, But anyway, RUR Missing Winner, pink and black swell vinyl, and I saw a comment that made me laugh a lot, which a Fall fan said, "Oh, great, it's on coloured vinyl, so it's going to sound even worse." So
that was the thing I was going to ask you. The picture disc. Did you ever play it? Because the picture discs are notoriously unlistenable.
I've never played it.
No, and also, why would you want to play it anyway? That's
strange, isn't it? Oh,
Did you have another? You don't have another copy?
No. I think I might have it on CD.
So you've never heard it then?
I have heard it. Well, it's that thing where you go, it's like, I was talking to my wife about this last night, about the Fall. How,
that's riveting for her. Well,
she came with me to see them several times.
Dedication. She really loves you.
But it was that, well, and I remember, Fall are playing. Oh, should we go and see them? And you go, I don't know. They're definitely the band I've seen the most. I've seen them so many times. It's ridiculous. And I'd always have this thing of, I don't know. I mean, there's a very solid chance they're going to be absolutely terrible. And, I don't know. It's raining, and shall I go? And I always ended up going. And I always felt that about new Fall albums as well. It's like, there's a new Fall album. Yeah. Well, I'll probably buy it, Will I miss this one? And of course, I'll buy it on the day it comes out. And but then, I kind of put it to one side and don't quite get around to it. I often did this with Fall albums, where I would not listen to them for quite a long time, and then listen to them once and go, well, it's not as good as Hex or Wonderful Frightening World or This Nation's Saving Grace or the other million albums of theirs that I love, and then go and listen to it again 6 years later and go, this was brilliant, actually.
Yeah.
I just wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
After this, I'm going to go and listen to RUR Missing Winner and see whether it's good. I'll report back.
Yeah, indeed.
So that was one I looked at. Yeah. Leisure Noise, the Gay Dad. Do you remember Gay Dad?
Yeah, I don't really know them that well, to be honest with you.
Gay Dad. Cliff Jones was the singer of Gay Dad.
Oh, right. Cliff Jones, I was in the Radiophonic Workshop manager.
Yes, who now manages the Radiophonic Workshop. I interviewed him when this album came out, and it sort of got... I mean, I remember thinking the name of the band was brilliant, but I'm not sure the general public, and particularly in America, perhaps were quite ready for that. But I thought the artwork was great. It's sort of blue and white with the guy walking, like a street sign. Very clear artwork.
Right.
I thought they were a really good band, but it was not to be. So that's out on blue vinyl. I think one of the reasons, there was a suspicion about them was because Cliff was a music journalist. They
were quite an NME band, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I think there was this kind of sense around them that they'd been maybe created a little bit by guys who were in the industry and a little bit of suspicion. I'm not sure, but it didn't bother me, and I thought they were very great. It says here, featuring production from Gary Langan from The Art of Noise.
Okay.
Chris Hughes, who produced Tears for Fears, Peter Gabriel, Paul McCartney, Propaganda, and Tony Visconti produced one track as well. Right. Was well received, and in some circles struggled to meet the lofty expectations surrounding the band. It was quite hyped, I remember. And so I think, when bands come out that were quite hyped, there's always that, they're probably going to be rubbish. So, it's like sort of thing that happened. So that happened to them. So, but that's great that that's been re-released, I think. Being Boiled.
Oh, yeah, Human League.
Human League 12-inch being reissued.
Anything special about it? Is it vinyl coloured or... So a 12-inch of it?
It's a 12-inch of their seminal debut single, and this is the fast product version because it was re-recorded and released on Virgin. Yeah. So this is the kind of emptier sounding, original. Darker, I think. The Virgin one was much, much fuller and heavier. And it has been expanded, it says here. It's going to be on orange vinyl, exclusive super rare bonus tracks from John Peel sessions in 78.
Okay.
So that could be worth picking up, I think. Do you want me to carry on? Have you got any?
I've got a couple, but yeah.
You have a turn.
I'll have a turn. I was just interested in this. I wouldn't, because I've got it, so I don't need to buy it. But there's a box set, 4 albums of the first 3 solo albums of Crosby, Stills and Nash. And then a bonus, the 4th disc is of kind of various demos and live stuff. But so David Crosby, Stephen Stills and Graham Nash's first solo albums. And the reason why I'm kind of interested is it's black vinyl. It's nothing, I'm just sort of wondering why they've put them together like that in a weird kind of... It's Rhino are putting it out, and Electra.
Yeah.
But the David Crosby album I would say, is probably my favourite album of all time.
Wow.
If I could only remember my name.
I think we talked about this. Do you remember? It's probably 10 years ago or so. I didn't know that album, and it came up. I think I was driving somewhere, and maybe it was an interview with him was happening on some radio station, and they played a track from it. And I thought, that's great. What a great song. And I came back and I said to you, because I knew you were quite an aficionado of that material, I said, I heard David Crosby's solo, and you waxed very lyrical.
Yeah, it's just...
so I went and got the album, and
you got it.
It's a fabulous record.
It is a great record, and there's some real hidden gems in it. I just thought David Crosby was just most interesting guy, really. And when I was younger, I remember thinking, and I don't know if this is actually true about him or not, but I've accepted it as being true, so I think it's close enough probably to the truth. And I got into David Crosby when I read about the fact that he had been arrested for speeding, significantly speeding down the motorway somewhere in California, while waving a gun out of the window and snorting coke off of the dashboard. Now, I don't know if that is true or not, but he certainly did. He certainly did used to speed, and he certainly did used to take quite a lot of drugs. And I think he had quite a thing about guns.
So all tracks.
Yeah. So he was also he was really into boats. That was his big thing, those boats.
Okay.
But yeah, I always thought Crosby was. I always think he looked great. The kind of walrus moustache that he had.
Yeah.
And because he was kicked out of the Byrds famously.
Yes.
And when he was kicked out of the Byrds, that was the notorious Byrd Brothers, and they had the album cover was the three of them that were left on looking out over some stables, kind of behind stable doors with the top door open. They're there, and the fourth door, which should have been Crosby because he was on part of the album, I think.
Okay,
he was kicked off, but it's just a horse.
Yeah,
looking out through the stables. It was not. It was quite brutal. I think
that's worse than Addie Newton at Clock DVA that we talked about last week. Finding out being kicked out because they'd taken all the gear out and left a note said, "Yeah, you're out."
Yeah, but Cross was. I saw Cross play maybe. I guess probably one of his last London shows would have been about 7-8 years ago. Superb.
Yeah.
Just brilliant. Yeah.
Great.
And his later stuff is good as well. You know, but that particular album, there's so many good tracks on it. So, yeah, but it's interesting that they've done a box set of that. And the other one that I sort of picked up on was Virgin Prunes, Heresy.
Oh.
Which was I've got it as a French release.
Okay.
A triple 10-inch.
Ooh.
Which is quite tasty.
Yeah. I love a 10-inch.
But that's, I love a 10-inch. And so this, I don't know what this, it says expanded with rare live recordings. So what is actually in it, I don't know. But the original album bits of it are fantastic. Bits of it, like a lot of Virgin Prune stuff, is kind of unlistenable. But yeah.
They were the band that we mentioned last week.
We talked about them last week about them playing the Future Armor
and not coming off the stage,
refusing to leave the stage. They came out. They played in loincloths, and they came out. They did a performance art thing, basically. You know,
covered in porridge or something,
and they wouldn't get off the stage, and they were dragged off by the bouncers one by one. Yeah. They cut the power on them, but they just stayed on stage banging things.
Right.
It was
Gavin Friday.
Yeah.
Fall Connection.
Go on.
Guest vocalist on The Wonderful and Frightening World of the Fall.
Oh, okay.
On one of the tracks.
Oh, okay.
I just thought I'd throw that in.
I did love a bit of Virgin Prunes, but I did love a bit of Virgin Prunes.
Yeah. Well, I think prunes generally take in moderation, I think is the advice, isn't it?
No, they were really... And Gavin Friday's solo stuff's just... brilliant, for the most part. So, anyway, so that's just a couple I sort of looked at.
Okay.
And thought,
okay, I've got a couple more.
Yep.
Last Dinner Party 7-inch. They're a... Are you aware of the Last Dinner Party?
I know the name, but...
They're a all-female band. Sort of... how would you describe them? They are slightly baroque, rock band, I guess.
Right.
Kate Bushy, but also a little bit sort of... They did a cover of Sparks, which made sense to me in that they got that kind of quirky art pop feel. I went to see them earlier this year, and it was one of those gigs where I would say 80% of the people there are girls.
Right. And
so the screaming in between tracks was quite loud, not least from my daughter, who loves them.
Oh, cool.
Both my daughters love them. So that's quite good. A little 7-inch, just some couple of live tracks from recorded in New York. What else? What's this one? Oh, I'm very delighted. You'll like this one, Paul. MC 900 Foot Jesus.
Oh, I saw. Yeah.
Welcome to My Dream.
Yeah.
Double vinyl, visionary fusion of jazz, hip hop, and spoken word. True underground classic of the early 90s. 35th anniversary expanded edition. Celebrates MC 900 Foot Jesus's genre-defying album with a track listing personally curated by Mark Griffin.
Mark Griffin.
Yeah. Features his lone liner notes, early demos, pressed on vinyl for the first time. Looks like it's on silver vinyl. That is an absolute cracker of a record.
Yeah.
And I think he was criminally overlooked
He was way ahead of his time.
It's just incredible stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was there a couple of albums and that was it?
Yeah, he did this album. I think there was another one or two and some 12 inches. Funnily enough, Jack Dangers, who from Meat Beat Manifesto, who Jack writes a column for Electronic Sound about his mad rare record collection. He knows Mark quite well because I think he did some remixes. Did he do some remixes? Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And he said to me last time we spoke about him, he said he was starting to do gigs again. This was maybe a year or so ago.
Has he done nothing since then? Because he did seem to disappear. He didn't do any...
I'm not sure. I think he's been doing bits and bobs, but just on the lowdown, not really doing much. I think he's based in Dallas, if I remember rightly.
Right.
But yeah, that really leapt out at me. That might be something.
Great name for a project, doesn't it? I always thought that was a fantastic
It's incredible.
name. Yeah.
Another, really interesting record is Teenage Fan Club and Jad Fair, Words of Wisdom and Hope.
Okay.
That's a really great album that they got together. Jad Fair from half Japanese, sort of outsider type of...
It sounds like a bit of a strange combination.
Yeah, it's...
To somebody who's not familiar with... I'm not familiar with Teenage Fan Club particularly.
Well, they're they're an interesting band in that they kind of floated between... I always saw them as a sort of around the Nirvana era, as they all had long hair and they were quite a rock band, and I think were very liked by Kurt Cobain.
That's right. They were pretty pop, weren't they?
Yes, they were quite poppy, quite melodic, backing vocals, harmonies, which made them really poppy. And then they kind of, to my mind, went more sort of Americana, kind of mid-tempo-y guitar stuff, but always with really lovely melodies and harmonies. This album, it was just a one-off collab, and it's almost krautrocky.
Right.
It's got a great sort of bass-driven tracks on it, which I was literally looking at with my wife last night because she loves Teenage Fan Club.
Yeah, I know she does, yeah.
And I wasn't that aware of this record, and she was showing me stuff last night. And I was going, oh, this is all brilliant, And I was looking up on Discogs, should I pick up the Alternative Tentacles original issue from 2001, I think it was, or and then it's coming out.
There you go.
LP plus 7-inch. So that's a good one. I've got 3 more of these to get through. David Bowie. These are really fast. David Bowie outtakes from the Outside album.
Right.
So that looks interesting on some kind of clear vinyl, white vinyl. And another Bowie one, Hello Space Boy, coming out.
Yeah, I saw that one.
The Pet Shop Boys remix of it, that's on neon pink vinyl. Lots of people didn't like that era of Bowie. I really did.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. Okay, this is the last one. What is it? Oh, yeah, David Holmes. The film's crap. Let's slash the seats.
Oh, that's a good album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the first colour pressing for that. That's
record. The one with all the stuff recorded on the streets of New York.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
No, or is that?
Or is that Let's Get
No, that's
Killed?
Let's Get Killed.
Yes.
Yeah.
That says Let's Get Killed. Yeah. So David Holmes, of course, has really, I suppose, since become a soundtrack guy, hasn't he? He did the Killing Eve
it's
soundtrack.
It's interesting now, one or two of them have done that.
Yeah, it's a good place to go. I was watching Neil Hannon from The Divine Comedy being interviewed by Richard Herring again last night, and him describing the experience, a little different from soundtrack, but he wrote the music for the Willy Wonka film.
Right.
And he said it took 3 years and was like an ongoing nervous breakdown. Because I can imagine, when you've got a director who's like breathing down your neck and saying, no, don't do it like that.
Yeah.
You're not used to that.
I'm always very intrigued that Clint Mansell became a very, very good soundtrack.
Who would have thought it?
I mean, when you think about him with his loudspeaker shouting about Beaver Patrol in Pop Police itself.
It seems mad. And you listen to something like Moon, the soundtrack to that, which is so beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
But, they always had something, Popleat itself.
They were a fabulous band.
Yeah.
I loved them.
Yeah, I did. I loved that single, Cicciolina.
I interviewed them around that time.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were kind of one of those bands, clearly, where their image was sort of, they kind of had this slightly dumb image, didn't they? We're just kind of, lurking about. But actually what they were was this sort of pop culture, I don't know what you'd call
Hoovers.
it. Yeah, like a dustbin of pop culture, which they just
would hoover everything up and then
sample it and stick it out. And they loved, what was that track? Things they loved. Alan Moore knows the score and.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, what was that?
Yeah.
Well, that was the big single, wasn't it? Yeah, that.
Great.
Maybe they could email us, the listeners, and fill us in on what that is, unless we look it up on the internet now. But yeah,
cool.
That was good. So that's Record Store Day looking good.
Yeah. So
April the 18th.
Yeah. So there is a big list of all the stuff. So you check it out. Is it just recordstoreday.com or something?
.co.uk.
Yeah. So you have a little look. See what you fancy.
Okay. Good stuff. So we'll move on.
Yep.
Moving on to the next item on my list here is, I've written records of interest.
Okay.
I don't know why I wrote that, really, because they're all interesting, aren't they, Push?
Well.
So I recently interviewed a band called Mandy, Indiana.
Okay.
Mandy, Indiana they're about to release their second album. It's called
How'd you spell that?
URGH. And they're very good. It's they're sort of Manchester-based. They formed in Manchester.
This presumably is for an electronic sound.
This is for electronic sound. This is coming in the.
This will be the second feature we've done on them, if I remember right. I think we've done them.
Yes, did a small feature around the first album. This is a slightly longer one. So the singer is French. They met and formed in Manchester. She now lives in Berlin. They're a very interesting band. I would urge you to check them out. They're getting a lot of play on Six Music at the moment. They kind of are. They use a lot of samples. There's a lot of guitar on there as well, though. It's sort of electronic, experimental, quite confrontational in some ways.
Right.
And we were talking about this. We're talking about the fact that they make this sound which feels quite immersive. And I was saying I could imagine seeing them in a small venue and this kind of enveloping experience of the sound that they make, which led us to talk about bands who do stuff like that, say Swans, or I mentioned a band called Slab, which very few people can remember, who I loved.
Yeah.
And then My Bloody Valentine came up.
Right.
And we started talking about them and how much he liked them. And he'd been to see them recently-ish. And he said it was, a completely overwhelming experience, which reminded me of my copy of Loveless, which I thought records of interest.
Yeah, for sure.
So Loveless came out on the Creation label. It's a bit, their recording history is a bit strange. I think this is deemed as their second album, even though there had been sort of singles and a couple of mini albums and things like that. But the reason I dug this out after speaking to it was Scott Fair from Mandy, Indiana, that I spoke to, because this one has got the original Creation Records.
Oh, fantastic!
Press release in it, typed and then photocopied, but typed with a fancy typing font. And it was used last year, I think. An argument blew up online about what the release date was, and there was, you know how it gets.
Yeah.
People can be quite.
I'm just looking up here to see if it says what it says on here. I'm just looking at Wikipedia.
Okay,
which is not the most reliable ones.
Does it have a release date on it?
It does, yeah.
Okay.
What are you saying?
Release date 11th of November 1991.
Oh, this is 1991 as well. So,
but there was an argument about which week it was.
Oh, great!
And this very press release stopped the argument, dead in its tracks. Creation Records, second floor, 8 Westgate Street, London, E8 3RN. It's in Hackney, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Release date 11th November 1991. There's a track list. After the hugely influential LP Isn't Anything in 1988, the top 50 Glider EP in May 1990, followed in January 1991 by the Tremolo EP, which entered the charts at 29. My Bloody Valentine are back with their second LP, Loveless. Apart from Soon from the Glider EP and To Hear Knows When from Tremolo, Loveless includes 8 brand new songs recorded in the most beautiful and weirdest way. This album may well be the pet sounds of the 90s. Contact Laurence and Christine.
Laurence, okay.
And I was reading up about this because famously this album cost, well, it's debated how much it cost to make. Creation said it cost £250,000 and nearly bankrupted them. And Alan McGee, who ran Creation, said after this album came out, he dropped them because he said, it's either them or me. I can't work with Kevin Shields. Apparently, I was reading up, I didn't know this, the sort of second in command at Creation, whose name I can't remember, the things got so bad during the recording of this because Kevin Shields, they kept changing studio, they kept ditching tapes, it wasn't right, and the money was just building up and building up. They couldn't afford to pay the studio bills, and apparently he would be, his hands would be shaking when he was opening the post in the morning because he knew that there would be bills that they couldn't pay because of My Bloody Valentine and this bloody album that they were making.
Fantastic.
Laurence, apparently, who we both would have had interactions with,
for a
French lady who is always a delight to talk to on the phone when she rang up, is quoted as saying that this guy's hair turned white overnight because of this album. Kevin Shields reckons that's been blown out of proportion. Actually,
is it Dick Green?
Yes. That's him. Yeah.
Because Dick and Alan were in a band, Biff Bang Pow.
Oh, yes, right.
I interviewed Dick for Biff Bang Pow once. Yeah.
It was
he was
Dick
a lovely
Green.
guy. Alan, I didn't know so well, but that's
pushed
brilliant.
to the edge of what he could take by the making of this album.
That's amazing. That's a great story.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a legendary record.
It's a very, very good record.
Sort of, revisit it too much. I think I remember putting it on, and I don't think I was the only one who had this experience, and thinking, what have I done to my record player? I genuinely thought I'd broken it, that there was something up with it. The last time I thought that was when I listened to Wish You Were Here for the first time by Pink Floyd. And, it's going along quite happily, and then it suddenly goes... I thought, what? It was kind of one of those. But and I went to see them. And I looked that up as well, actually, to see when it was, because you can do that now. And it turns out it was February the 13th, 1990. So before this came out. Right. At the Norwich Arts Centre, just about 5 minutes over there. And this guy had written a blog post about his experience of that gig. And he said it was, as I did, it was a pretty overwhelming experience. Yeah, they afterwards, I remember being in the bar, having been just altered by having been in the same room as whatever it was they were doing, which was painful. And I happened to be stood next to the drummer. Right. And we just started chatting, and I knew who he was, and we were just having a little chat. And then my friend came bounding in, who was quite drunk and had also been in the room. And I said, "Oh, hello, how are you?" And he said, yeah. Well, I was just in there and, God, bloody hell, that sound, they need to sort that sound out. That was awful. And I was like, this is the drummer of My Bloody Valentine? It was one of those kind of socially awkward moments.
Oh, dear.
But yes, that's my record of interest.
I reviewed them from a gig, live review from a gig from a place called Gossips in Soho, which was just like...
I love it when clubs always had names like that.
Yeah. It was
Tramps.
Yeah, they all had things like it was just in a basement in Soho. It was somewhere that I think had something to do with much earlier on. The Blitz was maybe there or something. I don't know, maybe not. Yeah. Maybe I'm getting it wrong, actually. That might have been somewhere else. Anyway, this is a little tiny place downstairs, 1986. Mm-hmm. And I reviewed them for Melody Maker, and the first sentence I wrote, and I'll never forget it, just said, "My bloody ears."
Very good.
Because it was so, as they were throughout, always overwhelming. Everything they did, whatever it was overwhelming.
Yeah, I was when I was reading up about it, I thought to myself, because it took years to make this album. Creation were desperate for it to come out because they'd pumped so much into it. They were paying, their living expenses as well, and they needed this to come out to sort of make their money back. And Kevin Shields would not give it up, and he kept. No, it's not right. And I'm sacking this engineer, I'm sacking that engineer. And I just thought to myself, what kind of personality, what kind of single-mindedness do you need to have to pursue something to that extent, where the people who've signed your band are on the verge of a nervous breakdown? And I mean, it was blamed on the near collapse of Creation entirely. That the whole thing nearly went down because of what this was costing.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So I guess I'm trying to think of where they were at with other things. So Primal Scream, Loaded was 90, was it?
Yes, I think so,
but Screamadelica wasn't until 90, was that 91 or 92 even? Anyway,
they were... I remember. 91, I think.
Primals hadn't got to that kind of point, and obviously...
they had quite a lot of sort of indie bands.
They did in the in the early part of the Creation. Yeah, that it was very much an indie label, and then after Acid House, after the whole kind of house thing happened, they turned much more into doing sort of things like some of those kind of bands as well. I remember there was a. TV Personalities were one of the big bands that they had earlier on, weren't they? Do you remember them?
I do.
Television Personalities, and
that's a sort of Biff Bang Pow
Biff
era.
Bang Pow and BMX. And remember BMX Band? That was a bit later, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was. Primals, obviously, they were on the label from about 86, I think. 86, 87.
When they were sort of psychedelic, jangly band, weren't they?
Yeah. But then they put out some really great. There was a record they did by a band called Love Corporation. It wasn't a band at all. It was Ed Ball, I think his name was.
That's right. Yes.
And that is a brilliant kind of. Danny Rampling did some remixes, or a couple of remixes on it. Palatial was, I think, one track, I believe. And that was a fabulous 6-track kind of mini album thing. Really, really great. Kind of house music, the British way. So it really wasn't that house music. It was more techno in a weird kind of way. But they were very interested in lots of different things. And of course, they were working sort of soon around that time, perhaps a bit before, with Jeff Barrett, who, was very much. Had one foot into that world and one foot into the indie world as well. So, they were. I always thought Creation were a really interesting label.
Did you enjoy when they signed Oasis?
No, not so much. I mean, someone was going to sign Oasis, weren't they?
That may as well have been them.
It may as well have been them.
Certainly made them a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely. So. And I don't like it. This is going to be a repeated theme of the pot. I don't like Oasis too much, but. A lot of people do.
You can't deny that.
You can't deny it. And Creation made some good signings. And that's how you have to see those things, I think. Primals, I think they were just... I mean, they signed the band a long while before, as we were saying, before they did anything that was ever going to make them any money, really.
Of course, Teenage Fan Club were on Creation as well.
Teenage Fan Club, yeah. Yeah, they were, yeah.
I remember...
They were nice people. I liked them as well. They were good people to kind of hang around with.
Well, I think they kind of like... they personified that label, I suppose, the 90s underground, indie, left fieldy sort of
early 90s. Yeah.
Vibe, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
So good choice. Good
Hurrah.
choice.
Okay.
Cool.
So I was going to. How are we doing for time?
We're all right for a little bit. Yeah.
So I thought it would be a nice idea as well that every now and again we talk about one of the records we've released as a 7-inch or otherwise, because we have done a few albums. Just pick one almost at random from the back catalogue.
Yeah, so just to explain, we when we do an issue of Electronic Sound, we will always, we will generally have a 7-inch single that we put with the magazine. We bundle. You can buy the magazine on its own, or you can buy it with a 7-inch. And the 7-inch is related to whoever is on the cover artist.
Yeah.
Every so often we'll do a CD, maybe once a year. But generally it's a 7-inch. So you've picked out, I know what that cover is.
Issue 117.
Yeah.
Suzanne Ciani.
Yeah.
Sounds from the Fourth Dimension. So Suzanne Ciani is a synthesizer improviser.
That's good.
How'd you like that?
Yeah.
Particularly known for working with the Buchla synthesizer. Don Buchla was one of the early pioneers of synthesizer building. So I guess you had Buchla was based on the West Coast, and you had Robert Moog, which is the correct way of pronouncing it. I find it very difficult to say Moog after.
Do you?
Yeah, because I've always said Moog.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
and in the UK you had EMS with Peter Zinoviev and Tristram Carey. And the VCS3 synthesizer. So these were all 1960s synthesizer people. Suzanne Ciani was a student in San Francisco, a music student doing composition, a classical pianist, really, and then encountered Buchla and the synthesizer, and it sort of completely changed the path of what she wanted to do, and she became so enamored of this device that she ended up working at Buchla's factory. I mean, I think it was like a room with some benches in it and some soldering irons, making them. And she would help to make them so she could then buy one, which she did. I've interviewed her a couple of times. The record for this particular one has got a performance that she did with the Buchla in 2024.
Right.
And she works in surround sound, or sort of where she'll put speakers around the venue, and the Buchla is able to send sound to different portions of different speakers. It's got a unit that actually does that. And for her, that's what it's all about. It's about being in the space with the sound,
right,
and about improvising. It's also got on the B-side Shrinking Particles, which is a track that she did for the soundtrack for the 1981 film, The Incredible Shrinking Woman.
Oh, yeah, I remember this now. Yeah. It's coming back to me. Yeah. When did we do this issue? Was it about
117? That would be like
2 years ago?
Yeah.
A year and a half?
A bit longer, yeah. So that Incredible Shrinking Woman film is worth a watch if you can dig it out for its sort of historical value. It's great. And I think the cover there, another one of our minimalist sort of op art things. Mark Hall, who's our designer, he designs the magazine and does all of our sleeves. I think there he's clearly working in this kind of idea of, if you move it around, of four, you can sort of see the sort of four elements there, and that's very clever. I like that kind of stuff. Suzanne Ciani now has a studio in the Bay Area, in San Francisco, neck of the woods, with a sort of fully glassed walls where she just looks out on the sea. But her stories are absolutely incredible. She's the most charming person to talk to. Really funny, really self-effacing. But what she went through is absolutely incredible. She told me one particular story, which she said she was, because it was the late 60s and it was the West Coast, there was a lot of activism. She got involved, and she got arrested, found herself in Chokey for a night for being a hippie with no shoes, which she walked about with nothing on her feet for about 2 years, apparently. And she really believed in it all. And she then had a visit from the CIA, who virtually burst into her studio because they thought her wires and everything were some kind of spy equipment.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
And she was like, I don't know, it's a synthesizer, because they didn't know what the hell it was. I think they eventually left, and they left her alone. But they carried on keeping surveillance on her. She moved to New York, and she said to me that they rang her up once to say, hello, this is the CIA. Are you doing any spying? And just to sort of put the wind up her, just to let her know that they were still keeping an eye on her, because they'd tagged her as a subversive.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Crazy times.
There was a lot of that going on, though, wasn't there? I mean, the FBI and indeed the CIA were kind of 60s and 70s. They really, they were really going to certain places.
yeah. I mean, it all sounds like something out of a sort of, a film, doesn't it? Really, but you look at America now and you realise, things are real.
I mean, I think. If we get to this point, the history of the times that we're living in at the moment are going to be quite something.
Yeah.
Because I really think we are. I'm not really a conspiracy theorist. I'm more of a cock-up theorist. But I do think there's some weird, strange things going on that we don't know anything about. And,
is that going to be our other podcast?
That might be the other. I tell you what, there are lots of other podcasts about that sort of thing, so maybe not.
Yes,
I think other people will do it.
Let's leave that to those guys.
Other people will do it better than us.
Yeah, definitely.
But definitely, I was just there was the sort of the activities of the CIA in the 60s, 50s and 60s when they were trying to find the whole MK Ultra program, mind control ultra, to find the mind control drug.
It's all out there. It's all real.
Which they thought was ecstasy at one point. They tested ecstasy and decided it wasn't ecstasy, which actually was the perfect mind control drug.
You've written a book about this, haven't you?
It was sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
But then they settled on LSD. Yeah. That was going to be the truth drug. You're going to, you speak a lot of truth when you're on LSD, don't you?
I wouldn't know.
That's fascinating, though. I mean, Suzanne Ciani, and I often get her name wrong. And
you do?
Believe I didn't that time.
Well done.
Along with Robert Moog.
Yes.
She. If I remember rightly, she was doing a gig in London around the time that we.
That's right.
That we did that feature, but her buchla went missing. Did it not?
Oh.
And she did the gig.
That's right.
Without her instrument, and I can't remember what it was she did, but she kind of did a spoken word thing with some tapes or something.
Right.
The gig still went ahead, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
And she kind of improvised, literally on the spot, without an instrument.
To be honest, I can't quite rember, but yes.
Does that ring a bell?
It wouldn't be the first time she'd had her buchla go missing.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other, ballpark thing.
But I think that's the second time we'd put her on the cover, and I think she's got some great stories.
So we have some of those left.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to read that and listen to that great 7-inch,
get the record, because that's
electronicsound.co.uk. You can do that.
Cool.
Okay.
Have we got time to talk about Harry Styles?
I think we should, because it's contemporary. It's just happened.
I never thought I'd say those words in that order.
So Harry Styles has released a record called Aperture. I say a record.
What is it?
It's a stream. I don't know what it is. It might be a record. I don't know if there's a physical version.
It's a recording.
It's definitely a recording.
So it is a record.
It happened to come up on YouTube on the telly, and by the time I watched it, it had been up about 3 hours, and it had 16 million views.
Wow.
It's crazy.
So, because you said to me yesterday maybe we should talk about this.
Yeah.
And you sent me the link to the video.
Yeah.
And it got to last night, about midnight, and I thought, I better play this thing that he sent me.
Stupid hairstyles.
So I put it on, and the video is brilliant.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, and the song's pretty damn good as well.
It's really good. I mean, like you, I suspect my interest in Harry Styles is borders on the supernaturally uninterested. He's a guy from a reality TV show who did pop or something. You know, I'm aware of his huge presence in the pop culture, but that particular side of things is not doesn't really interest me.
It's not what we're into, is it, really?
But this song is really good, and it sounds a little bit like maybe LCD Sound System is what I thought. But my wife was sat next to me going, no, this sounds like something. This sounds like something. What the hell is it? And it bothered her. She kept singing it, you know, we belong together. There's this line, we belong together. And I think it was, I don't know if it was the next day or maybe even the day after that, she suddenly, she worked it out. And it's this, which I think might be quite a surprise and it's probably completely unintentional. Fountains of Wayne.
Right.
Traffic and Weather.
Right.
So Fountains of Wayne, American power pop band. I think of them, they're great. Adam Schlesinger and Chris Collingwood, the two songwriters. Adam Schlesinger died of COVID.
Yes.
Which was really tragic.
Yes.
But Chris has recently sort of reinvigorated the Fountains of Wayne, and there's a version now playing, and they're really good. This album was 2007, and it's the track Traffic and Weather literally is traffic and weather, we belong together like traffic and weather. And when he sings We Belong Together, it's exactly the same as Hairstyles singing We Belong Together in his great new song Aperture, which then led me to think, what else? You know, will this cause any trouble? I doubt it. You know, it's just a few notes really, and but it is it is the line as well.
I can't, you know, I mean, original music.
Well, this
How
is
original is any piece of music?
It reminded me of when I was at Melody Maker. I happened to be doing the singles, which we talked about that experience in a podcast a while back. When If You Tolerate This, Then Your Children Will Be Next. Typically mouthful title from Welsh rock favourites, Manic Street Preachers. And in my review I said, sounds like the Stranglers. It sounds like Duchess by the Stranglers. And I wrote this in the review, didn't think anything more of it. And then I walked into the office about 3 days later after it had come out, and people were sort of pointing at me going, ooh. I was like, what? Ooh, you need to go and see the editor. Turns out that the Stranglers were considering legal action. Right. And they wanted to talk, their legal team wanted to talk to me about my expert opinion.
Oh, wow.
That
really? Wow.
The Manic Street Preachers had ripped off the Stranglers. Nothing came of it. I never heard anything of it, but they'd clearly contacted the paper and the magazine and sort of asked whether I would be willing to appear as a witness or something. I don't know.
Because a lot of those cases, they get musicologists in, don't
That's
they?
right.
Hey, look, I respect you and all that, but I'm not sure you're a musicologist.
I don't think that's the kind of ist I am, is it? So, so Epic received a letter from Complete Music, which was the Stranglers publishers, saying you've kind of, borrowed substantially, I think was the quote. The Manics acknowledged a similarity existed, but insisted it was entirely coincidental and unintentional. With Sean Moore, the drummer, he said, when we actually heard it, we thought, bloody hell, it does sound similar, but nothing was intentional. There wasn't a court case. It didn't go to that, but they did end up sort of with an out-of-court settlement.
Right.
I think on that one. I think I read somewhere that Jack Burnell, the bassist of the Stranglers, said, "Oh, it's the first thing our publishers have done for us for 20 years." So I can't be asked. I wouldn't have done anything. So it was a bit of a storm in a teacup. But that led me to another Stranglers one, which was with Elastica.
Okay.
Where Waking Up by Elastica was a bit of a rip-off of No More Heroes by the Stranglers.
Allegedly.
No, not allegedly. Oh. Actually.
Okay.
And with the Stranglers taking 40% of the songwriting credit.
They did, right, okay. Because that's what happens sometimes, isn't it, when there is a dispute and it's settled.
That's right. The Elastica, I just think Elastica sat in the studio with a bunch of really great post-punk albums and went, okay, let's have that riff and that riff, and made their album out of it, really. So because they did it with Connection, which was a rip-off of Three Girl Rumba.
Oh, Wire.
By Wire, yeah. So, and that was a hit, and that was you can hear it.
Yeah.
It's quite obvious. They also borrowed from The Fly, I Am the Fly, Wire song for their song Line Up. I wonder whether this shows something about the music industry, in that Wire resulted in they had an out-of-court settlement, but no writing credit change.
Right.
As far as I'm aware, anyway. I wonder whether Stranglers had a more sort of muscular representation than Wire would have done.
What it comes down to, isn't it?
A really nice one that I like a lot. You'll like this one, and I'm sure you'll remember it. Neil Innes of the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band and Monty Python fame, and of course his own solo career, and Oasis. How Sweet to Be an Idiot. I remember the first time I heard Whatever by Oasis thinking, hold on a minute, that's How Sweet to Be an Idiot by Neil Innes. That came out in December 1994, and it's the title. How Sweet to Be an Idiot is the title track of Neil Innes's first solo album in '73. Out of court settlement, rewritten credits, payday for Neil Innes. He has, sadly passed away as well now, but a 12.5% share of that song.
Oh, right, okay.
Tasty.
Yeah.
That single sold 600,000 on its own, and it's also on a compilation album, I think. Yeah. So it was used in a Coca-Cola advert as well.
Right.
So that'd have been good. Which then led me to remembering, of course, Radiohead and the Hollies. Well, not really the Hollies. So when Creep came out, I remember when Creep came out thinking, that's just that, hold on a minute, that sounds like something else. And it's Tom York starts singing the line from The Air That I Breathe by the Hollies, which was actually written by Albert Hammond and Mike Hazelwood. Hollies had a hit in '74, sued. The writers, Mike Hazelwood and Albert Hammond, who aren't in the Hollies, they're just songwriters, and now they're co-credited as well now. They get 8.33% each of Creep, which is more than some of the members of Radiohead themselves get, but not more than Tom York gets. How do I know this? Because I looked it up on the PRS website.
Oh, okay. Because I hope you didn't go to Wikipedia for that kind of
exactly.
Yeah.
So I checked my facts before I come and state that. Radiohead and Lana Del Rey then got into a bit of a beef over Lana Del Rey's Get Free, because they said it ripped Creep off. Hold on a minute. How Creep's already a little bit of and now Lana Del Rey's done it, but apparently that got settled as well somehow. But I don't have the.
This is kind of reminding me about 4 words that we've already said in this podcast.
What's that?
Pop will eat itself.
Well, yes, this is it. It's interesting because there's another one, Olivia Rodrigo and Paramore. So Olivia Rodrigo, hugely popular singer. Paramore, hugely popular band. Olivia Rodrigo's song "Good for You," "Good for" with the digit 4, is a rewrite apparently of Paramore's "Misery Business." Fans noticed the strong connection, and it was, I think, again, they sorted it out. But interestingly, I think there is nowadays, certainly in that kind of world, there is this idea that when something like that happens, it creates noise around the tracks. So both bands actually, or artists, really benefit from it.
Yeah, I'm sure that has.
Because everybody goes back and listens to the original to check it, and then they listen to this one, and then everyone starts arguing about it online. So, I think maybe in the pop world, it's not such a terrible thing, and the re-treading of ideas and notions that happen in pop music, like in TikTok and all of that kind of world, is a very different one from, say, whether Radiohead should have nicked that off of those two songwriters, or Elastica and the Stranglers. It's a different equation somehow. The last one I'm going to bang on about now, and there's probably loads of these. Well, we know there are loads of them. Is the Fall and Spinal Tap.
Okay.
The Fall's excellent.
Which way around is it?
Well, fans of Spinal Tap will know "Tonight I'm Going to Rock You Tonight" from their classic album Intravenous de Milo. It's a big song in the Tap history. Was when we first then listened. So that was what, 1982, 3, I think. 1982 was it? Thank you. The Falls, I think the Friends Experiment came out 1989, 90? 90.
Right.
90. With Athlete Cured on it. And we heard the bass line and we went, hold on a minute. That's Tonight I'm Going to Rock You Tonight by Spinal Tap off of their classic album Intravenous de Milo. Sure enough, it is. Yeah. Apparently, they used to play, the bass player, Steve Hanley, used to play it at sound checks.
Right.
For a laugh.
Right. And
Smith went, we'll use that on that song.
Right.
And that's what happened. Tonight I'm Going to Rock You Tonight is a classic, and Athlete Cured, I would say, is a classic Fall song.
Okay.
It's about an East German athlete who was becoming unwell, and the smell of hot dogs permeated his room, and he couldn't work out what it was, and it turned out that it was his brother who was parking his car underneath his bedroom window and had a tendency to leave the engine on to warm it up. People in my environs have a tendency to do this too, says Smith. And that's what was making him unwell.
Fabulous. That's well done for all that. I mean, goodness me.
Thank you.
All I can offer to, well, actually, there's a few, I suppose, really. But the one that I always think of, because they were, I might be wrong about this because I was only about 11 or 12 in the charts at the same time, was Gene Genie and Blockbuster.
Oh, that's a good one.
David Bowie, Gene, and Blockbuster by The Sweet, which is exactly the same song.
It is. The riff. The Sweet ripped off David Bowie, I believe, with that one.
I don't know.
Let's check that.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe the other way around.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of interesting, those kind of things.
Yeah, I mean, it is, pop music. But swirls around. Ed Sheeran had one, didn't he? Recently, he had to go to court.
Right. It's hard, isn't it? It's really hard to come up with anything original, really.
Yeah.
And, you hear, if you're a musician and you're surrounded by music, like we are as well. You live in music. You hear it all the time. Things will filter in and you think, is that original, or where did I hear that somewhere?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Even George Harrison,
Oh, the Chiffons.
Yeah.
My Sweet Lord.
My Sweet Lord, yeah. He's So Fine was the Chiffons song. Yeah,
that's right, the Chiffons song.
I think when John first played Come Together to Paul just laughed and said, that's, Here Come On Flat Top, it's Chuck Berry.
Right.
It's the same lyric.
Right.
But, it happens.
It's quite nice that we started, somewhere near the beginning of the podcast, we were talking about the Fall quite a bit.
Yeah.
So it's nice to come back round to the Fall.
Yeah, it does tend to happen with me.
All of life begins and ends with the Fall.
Yeah. Well, that might be a good time to.
I'd just like to add one thing. I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
Are you on some kind of bet to get the words "my wife" in as many times as possible? Because you have mentioned your wife quite a few times.
Yeah. Well, we watch a lot of telly together, and we talk about music a lot.
I think we should do a podcast of me and Mrs. Roland.
Okay, I'll suggest
Ask
that to her
if she'd like to do that.
See what she says. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's going to come up again because we haven't got time to talk about it now. But coming up in the next couple of weeks is a documentary.
My Wife's Greatest Hits album.
Is the Paul McCartney documentary.
Okay.
Man on the Run. It's going to be on Amazon, who have covered themselves in glory recently with their spending $75 million on Melania Trump's excellent documentary, which I'm sure we've all watched.
I loved the review that said the review of it that I think it was American review, one of the papers that said, even if you were watching this on a plane, you'd still walk out.
Very good. Yes. So anyway, this one won't be like that. This will be very interesting because it's about Paul McCartney post-Beatles. I'm in the middle. Well, I'm actually 3/4 of the way through now. The McCartney Legacy. It's a 2-volume book. Each volume is 700 pages, which takes McCartney from 69 to I think 82, with the same sort of forensic detail that Mark Lewison did on his Tune-In book, which there's only been 1 volume of that so far, which was, I think that was about 1,500, 2,000 pages, and which I also read, which is fantastic, and stops just as the first Beatles single is coming out. So this is the world I live in.
Okay.
So, yes. So that's coming out.
And your wife, in relation to this, is because...
Well, I mean, without wanting to overshare, I think the Beatles, our mutual love of the Beatles is one of the things that brought us together in the first place. So,
that's good.
Paul and the Beatles hold a special place for us.
Yeah.
Bands like Fountains of Wayne, I don't think I would have paid as much attention to if it wasn't for her. Teenage Fan Club.
Yeah.
She likes that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm much more electronic and noisy and horrible. She's more sort of cheery and nice melodies and stuff. But we both, very much love the Beatles. So we will talk about that. I've got some good stories.
Brilliant.
I've got some good stories about Throbbing Gristle and Paul McCartney.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Check that out. That's coming with some first-hand research. So we'll do that probably next time.
Fantastic. All right.
Okay.
Well, I look forward to that.
Me too. I can't wait.
So we're going to stop there?
I think we should.
Thank you very much for listening, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Email us.
Yes, email us at vinylpod@protonmail.com.
Well done, Push.
Yes.
Lovely. Okay.
And we'll see you again soon.
Cheerio.
Bye-bye.